Come manifest your best life with 190 Vision.
I was maybe 5 or 6 years old when this took place. I distinctly remember one night laying in bed. I shared a bedroom on the second floor of our parents' house with my sister, my older sister. And the bed I slept in was right next to the bedroom door. And she slept in the bed that was next to the windows of the room. And just so you understand the layout of the house, that bedroom was at the front of the house, and the stairs to get up to the second floor were at the back of the house. So you'd go up the stairs, and then you'd come down the long hallway to the bedroom that we stayed in. Well, we had the bedroom door open, as we usually do, and I remember waking up because I heard someone walking down the hallway. Middle of the night, it's dark. All we have is the street light from outside shining into the bedroom, and I hear someone walking down the hall. And I remember whispering, "Do you hear that?" to my sister. And she said, "Yeah." And we waited because we thought maybe it would be one of our other siblings or one of our parents. And the footsteps came into the bedroom, around the bed I was in, and then the footsteps stopped in between our two beds at the foot of the beds. I was so scared. I peed in the bed. My sister, she started screaming. My parents ran upstairs. They turned on the light. And when I looked over, my sister had a nosebleed, and there was blood all over her eyes. And they're like, "What's wrong with the two of you?" And they're cleaning up my sister, and we're telling them all about how we heard someone walk from the end of the hall to our bedroom and stand right between the beds, but there was no one there. Our parents said, "Oh, it's just your imagination. Go back to sleep." I don't remember if I went back to sleep, but I can tell you this much. Through the years, now I'm talking many years, while I still lived at home, my parents had, every time a priest would come into town for our church, they would a lot of times stay at our house because we would always have an extra space for them. And these priests would do blessings on my parents' home. They did exorcisms on the home. But whatever was there, those noises went and continued throughout all those years. I mean, I'd be sitting downstairs in the living room with my mom, and we'd hear someone walking around on the second floor of the house, and we would be the only two in the house at the time. Really interesting things. Even in the basement of the house, you'd hear things moving around and everything. So to me, as a child growing up in my parents' home, it was very scary. Many times, especially at night when you were alone on the second floor of the house or in the basement. Well, let's fast forward many years here. After all those things had taken place as an adult, before I helped my husband embrace his abilities here, I would stay at my parents' house every now and again, and the same things would happen. And you just had this really eerie feeling, and you didn't want to sleep in the second floor of the house. You didn't want to sleep in the basement. So when my husband started to learn how to be able to what we call clear a home, I said, "You have to take my parents' house and use that as the first home." And he did. And what he discovered, there were over 7 ghosts there, and there were some poltergeists and some other things in the house. So he did a clearing on my parents' home. And since then, there's been no activity. I was like, what? After all these years, I mean, my gosh, how come this couldn't have happened when I was younger? I could have had some very restful nights. But anyway, the point of this story is there are many individuals who live in homes where you'll hear knocking, or things disappear and then reappear elsewhere. A lot of interesting activity. We have a lot of experience with individuals who come to us who needed their homes cleared. But that's just one thing. What about people? We have, in our journey here with 190 Vision, we have had the privilege of having individuals come to us who were possessed. Really, really amazing stories. And they had gone to all kinds of sages and gurus and priests, and no one could help them. They were still possessed. But then when they were referred to us, my husband said, "Oh, not a problem. They'll be taken care of. Our team will take care of it. Archangel Michael's in charge." He does his work, and then bam, they're not possessed anymore. So we're going to continue with some of these stories. Honey?
I'm picking up my jaw off the floor.
Why would your jaw be on the floor?
Isn't that a saying that people have?
Yes, when they're shocked
Uh-huh.
or
You
surprised.
peed in your bed. You peed
Come
in
on.
your
I was a little girl, like 5, 6 years old, okay? At that age,
That's
you're
amazing.
terrified. I wasn't going to run down the hall if this thing just came down and was standing at the end
Right.
of my bed.
No, makes sense. Makes sense. Now, didn't you also say? Because I remember after we were married, or maybe even before, I'd go by your house when you were staying with your parents, that the dogs also would be looking like they're looking at people, but nobody's there.
Yes, yes. Up until you did the clearing on my parents' home, even whatever, because we've had many dogs at my parents' house, the dogs would just start barking and growling. And we'd look and there's nothing there. Or they'd stand by the stairs to go up to the second floor and they would just, like they were going to pounce on something and attack. It was, yes, very interesting behavior.
All right. So then you called me. Why did you call me?
I called you.
After
Oh,
you told your
now
after you told your story.
so you can share with us one of the examples of possession or one of those stories, since I shared the haunting story.
Possessions?
Yes, individuals who've come to us who are possessed, who required help.
Yeah, there's so many. But it's hard to. How about if I just tell you a story that just comes to mind? Oh, wow, that's right. Now, that's a good one. Let me say this first, that whenever someone is thinking about taking his or her life or ending a life, that's a very clear sign it's a possession. Okay? Because nobody in their right mind would want to take anybody's life, especially theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as people might say people are bad and they're terrible, when you're talking about a life, more than likely, it's like 99.9% chance that that person is possessed. So yes, we did have that one, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And with that one, he pretty much, well, actually, you're the one that got the phone call, and he gave
Yes.
the phone to me while I was driving.
Mm-hmm.
So right, that's a very good one because and that actually came from being in the military. Remember, he was in Afghanistan, I think it was,
Yes. Uh-huh.
right? Where he was stationed, and then he had that experience where the person stepped into where he was with the bomb on, then she exploded, and so he was affected by PTSD. So
Mm-hmm.
anyone out there, any of the veterans out there, anyone experiencing PTSD, feel free to reach out to us because more than likely you're being affected by other things and not just what you think is in the physical realm. And we can take a look and let you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's nothing, but it doesn't hurt to take a look. Yes, I remember that when he called and said that he had a gun to his head and he was ready to pull the trigger. And that's when I asked him to just hold on because we were pulling into a parking lot for this shopping place there. And while he was on the phone, luckily he was willing to do that, because he trusts me enough to just, okay, I'll wait. So just hold on, let me do something. Let me try something from here. And what I was trying, well, when I said trying, I was literally calling Archangel Michael and Lord Shiva, both of them, because, I was like, okay, maybe I need both. You don't need both, by the way, right? One of them is powerful enough, but that was so serious. I'm like, I'm pulling out all my arsenal here, my entire team.
The big guns,
So I
man.
call them both of them. There we go, the big guns, right? And I call them both of them. I say, guys, there's some serious things going on over there. How about if you guys head over there and take care of this situation.
Mhm.
And once I was done with that, I went and said hello, and he went, yes, hello. And then I said, how are you feeling? He said, oh, I feel fine. So I already put the gun down. I'm fine now.
To watch the full episode of this video, please go to the 190 Vision channel on Roku TV or Amazon Fire. Request help by visiting the 190vision.com website. Click on the Help Me tab and submit the consent form. Join others that are on the path of manifesting their best life through the 190 Vision Facebook group. Learn more about other topics by listening to podcasts on the 190 Vision Spotify channel or by watching videos on the 190 Vision YouTube channel. Help support the 190 Vision community by clicking on the Donate button that is located at the bottom of every page on our website.